See, I'm muted. Hey everyone, shout out to everybody in the chat. Good morning. How are you guys doing? How are you guys doing? Oh, Stacy says, yes. When you describe getting, yes. I got a feeling, I've gotten a lot of feelings from the interviews. I've been watching several of them at this point. Shout out to everybody. I know I just kind of started this way. Give me 1 second as we get everything going. Good morning, everyone. How you guys doing this morning? How you doing, Emily? Rose, how you doing? I've got words, Sweet Jules, Tina, Peekaboo, Deborah, Ruby Red, welcome. Come get this commentary. Keep a shout out to her. You guys check out her channel. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Cash, for the 199. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Not affiliated with the app. Okay. I've got words is in the house. Who else is here? Let me see. I'm just going up on the comments. Hey Liz, hey Tina. How are you guys? Good morning. Wherever you guys are at, or afternoon. Could be afternoon depending on what side of the world you guys are at. Thank you so much for being here. Women, just a tea, please. Welcome. Everybody come through. Thank you so much. Shout out to everybody from the UK. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Welcome, welcome. Yes, Ginger. So let me tell you, shout out to everybody from South Africa. I see my love over here, Tinkle Tits McGee. Shout out to you. Um, it's almost the weekend. Well, what day isn't it Friday today? The start of the weekend? All right. So let me tell you guys, I started a playlist of like as we're covering this because I think for me is I'm going to start very slow peeling the onion, and um getting to the various areas of the story because it's been helpful for me to kind of do it on my own. And it's also been helpful. Shout out to BJ and everybody else. I've had so many emails in the last since we've touched the story about different things that they feel like I need to look at and keep them coming. I might not reply back, but note I am getting your emails. This is my email for those that are wondering what my email is. Keep it going. I want to be able to do independent research as well. So like if there's nugget of information that I could provide you, um, I definitely want to do that, right? So, like, I know that we can talk about Lima, we could talk about Amanda, we could talk about Mark Leda. We could talk about Bam, and then we could talk about the twins, which we will. But I'm gonna break it down, and how maybe Lima fits into the various pieces. This is just interesting. One of the things that I had pointed out and I had put on my community wall. Let me show you guys this piece right here. So this is that Jevremovic Institute of Behavioral and Brain Science, right? And I had noticed this piece right here, and I thought this was very important to point out, because for me, this is the confusion, and I think that this even is the driver as to why we should even be more concerned. I highlighted it, even though it's in gray. Let me remove myself here. So this is her About Me, Meet the Founder page. So the founder, Lima, has lived through the implications of severe mental health illnesses firsthand through loved ones. The Institute of Behavior and Brain Science, JIBS, was bloomed from a desire to create tools to improve mental health care, research, innovation, and make those tools available globally to all that need them. A mixed reality experience designer, all right. Lima specializes in digital health. She is well known in the tech community for her speaking engagements and role as an ambassador for bridging innovation technology with healthcare and providing insight on the merging markets of VR, AR, and artificial intelligence AI. Lima insight into psychology and isolated control environments allow her to provide diagnostic, diagnostic, making up my words, diagnostic guidance on mental and behavioral immersion content, applications, and functions. Yeah. Typically, when you meet the founders, you have, well, the founder, okay, um, is specialized in X amount of training. They're specialized in this. They went to this school. They have this degree. They hold this. They are the, I don't know, supervisor, leader, CEO of this and X amount of experience. But here is to me that language, that diagnostic guidance. Who's got you can't she can't diagnose. So she shouldn't guide. I can't diagnose. So I can't guide. I can give commentary, which is what a lot of YouTubers do. But yeah, keep that in mind. Ooh, is Miss BJ in the house? Hey everybody. Shout out to Miss BJ. Shout out to her. That's the language that really trips me out here. Because I said, whoa, what is that? I it's trippy language here. So be concerned. I would be concerned with this language right here. There was another video. So I actually went onto her YouTube channel and I was watching her reaction videos of BJ and all these people that were criticizing her. And even those videos were a little bit concerning to me. But there was one specific video, and I wonder, I don't know if I uploaded it, but let me check if I did. She did a reaction to something about her IG being taken down. Something about her IG was taken down because of um, Instagram deleted. This is it right here. Instagram deleted for sexualizing children. And she was telling folks how that was wrong. She didn't sexualize anybody and how that was just wrong and we shouldn't be, she was letting us know. But it's something that she said in the first couple of minutes about the people that reach out to her. I'm going to see if I can upload that screen and we can watch it. People reach out to her, and I'm not misquoting her. These are her words, okay? So I want to make sure that if she's also if Lima's watching these videos, she understands. Your words. This is your words. What you've said about how people are, what your research should be used as, or how you're using your research, right? As Miss BJ likes to say, facts aren't defamation. So when you're actually speaking about what you do, pulling from your words, no one is defaming you if you're quoting your own words. So she said in this Instagram video, and I'm pulling up the clip right now as we speak, that People reach out to her for guidance on how to get what is it? Services, her services, mental health stuff, advice. That's what she used. Let me see if I can pull this freaking clip, and we can pull it up here too. Hold up. I don't want to misspeak for her. Right here, and it was the first couple of seconds. We'll just do that. We'll just go straight to it. It was this one right here. First couple of seconds that she's speaking.
Hi guys, so this is going to be a weird video. First of all, I hate talking to the camera. I think it's the most awkward, weird thing when you're not talking to another person.
All right.
I'm just going to put that out there. It's always really weird when I have to post a video like this.
Come on, girl.
Um, so I wanted to make an announcement that my Instagram account was deleted and that I didn't just go silent or disappear off of social media. There was quite a few people that I was in communication with, and so I'm really saddened about the fact that I've lost communication with those people.
Listen to what she
I can't
says.
imagine how people that make a career off of Instagram feel that it's so easy to have an account taken down. But for me, I didn't make a career off of social media or Instagram. It was more of the communication I had with you guys. It was basically the biggest the way that I promoted everyone to communicate with me.
So here she's talking about how folks were, they reach out to her there, and she was upset about that Instagram, whatever happened with her Instagram account. It is what she says in here that really made me wonder, well, what does her communication, how is she selling her product, her invention, okay, to everyone?
I had like thousands of direct messages from thousands of people all over the place telling me about like family members that were in crisis or asking me for advice on mental health services and conservatorships or court ordered treatment and guardianships. And so
So people ask her for advice on this topic. Keep that in mind.
ordered treatment and guardianships
Hold up, girl. Hold
over the
up.
place, telling me about like family members that were in crisis or asking me for advice on mental health services and conservatorships or court ordered treatment and guardianships. And so I was doing my best to go through my messages and respond to as many people as I could. And I had quite a few people that I was trying to help out. And so now I've just lost complete communication with those people, and I can't imagine how they feel. Um, so
So people reach out to her for advice, right? That's what they do. They want to know. So is she giving diagnostic information, advice about stuff like that? I mean, based on what you have on your founder profile to what you're saying here on this video, I would assume that there's something to be said about that. Just using your words. All right. We left off at, what was it? Timestamp 14 minutes and 49 seconds. All right. We're going to start right here. We talked a little bit about what was going on here yesterday, as far as how, she was explaining her driver to this thing that she does, right? And we talked a little bit about some of the red flags. We talked about the sister, her sisters being a motivation. We even said how some of us, like my calling myself out, our own trauma can be a career motivator, something that maybe happened to you in the past. You might want to kind of go that way and change somebody's life through that, right? Sounds like Lima herself has been through something very similar, although there was a lot of red flags in how she shared her story. According to her, her sisters have been through almost 60 treatment centers, and she's older than them. Her sisters are younger, right? So I was thinking, I said, damn, 60 treatment centers. And it's through the experience of what her sisters went through that she is able to give, provide a different, deeper insight to what is going to work in the mental health field services, and then the application of virtual reality. We had a lot of questions about what are the scales that are being used. She talked about evidence informed, evidence based, which is two different things, by the way. Evidence based models. She kind of gave a lot of trigger words, also words that you can find on Google search. She talked about deinstitutionalization as a new concept, which it's not. It's been out there. If you look into the history of any type of mental health helping field, you could take a course in that and kind of learn a little bit about it. Keep that in mind. So nothing new to me that I was like, wow, she's something different, right? Could VR be a tool that people can use to maybe treat some ailments? Sure, under training, under certification, but there's not a lot of research out there to say this is going to be the fix all for everything, right? This should be taking over the world. What's interesting is a lot of the emails that I got were saying that people view Lima as allegedly, this is what I'm reading on the emails, as a body broker. I said, man, that's a huge thing, right? That she is able to engage with the most vulnerable population, whether it's Skid Row or whatever mental health, the mentally ill population. And she's able to maybe handpick. Now, how is she handpicking these subjects, case studies? And nobody sees the ethical issues here at play, whether she gets conservatorship or she's somehow involved in the court order treatment of this. It's a huge red flag. Looking at it at this angle, it's a huge red flag. And that nobody in the courts, attorneys, or anybody, do they care enough to really understand the issues here? And that is a great question. Hold up. Let me and the way I see it is it's a body broker is somebody, it's like a firm or I'm trying to figure out what is the best way to explain it, but basically it's they're known as non-transplant tissue banks. Okay? So it's like the body part industry. Okay, when somebody dies, people say that you can donate your body. There are body brokers that contract with various funeral homes, and they can use your body for science. And sometimes they can use your body for like displays. There was one case I remember. I think it was out of Seattle. A family was suing a funeral home or something like that because they were using body parts and they found somebody's grandfather out there. Yeah, this was a real thing. This was about 2 years ago. Um, they didn't even know that their grandfather. They thought they buried their grandfather. They had a funeral, and then come to find out, they find him in display on some um, I don't know, what is it called? One of those convention things where body brokers have conventions and they use body parts for science and they experiment. I mean, that's a real thing. That's a real thing. So keep in mind when you bury your loved one, make sure that they're being buried if that's what you want, or you know, what's happening to the remains is actually happening. Yes. So people reached out to me while I was covering this and said people are calling her a body broker. What happened? Okay. Baby bunny. Okay. Sorry, you guys. All right. Okay. Did I tell you guys Baby Bunny's the CEO of this channel? You guys know that, right? Yes. See, and I didn't know that that's what they were doing. That's where the term the Florida Shuffle really. See, and that's the piece that I'm learning. I assumed that the Florida Shuffle was like people that were being done. Well, I mean, I guess to a certain degree, you know, people that are dumped after and there's been an increase of that where hospitals are dumping people that they feel like they can't treat anymore or they can't pay for services or whatever. Yeah, that's a real thing. It's a real thing. So yeah, people were reaching out to me and letting me know that this was something that they were seeing their as. Keep that in mind. Here you go. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. All right, let's get started. So we left off at 1449. Give a little summary of what we talked about last time. Let me go ahead and play this because this gets even more bizarre, in my opinion. This is that interview that she did with the what is it? The White Underbelly channel.
Scale our technology right now. So what we're working on is we're getting ready to open up our Series A with private investors next month. We've had some really good traction and a lot of really great conversations. And it's amazing to see how many of these investors have experienced mental illness in loved ones, and they're very motivated with the same reasons that I'm motivated by. So I couldn't imagine being in a better industry because there's so much heart in it. It's not all about how much money we can make. Of course, there are those people, but those are not the people we want to work with. It's about the people that are thinking of how can we scale help for for everybody. And if you look at the different tiers of treatment, so some of the patients that, or some of the people that you've interviewed, were talking about different treatment centers that they went to, and they didn't have insurance. They had Medicaid or Medi-Cal, and those treatment facilities, they typically have very small rooms, twin beds. It kind of looks like a nice jail cell, right? And they're clients of mine, so we work with.
What was so interesting here is that the investors have experience with mental health services, with their own issues, with their own families, right? So if I'm an investor, and I have, say, I have a family member of my own, which, a lot of us do. We might have family members that are struggling with mental health service or issues and in need of services, right? Sometimes they might be dually diagnosed with a what is a substance use problem and a mental health issue, and how those two play a role is very important, right? So it definitely pulls at your heartstrings. It goes back to what I said yesterday. I said, it is very easy for us to feel compassion when we see somebody really struggling, because a lot of us, especially in the field, and a lot of you guys here in the chat, we care. We care about individuals. We care about people that are struggling with mental health illnesses and whatnot, right? So if you're actually seen it in your family and you're able to invest money, I absolutely would put money onto something that is going to help a family or a person get better or better themselves, right? Totally would. So, I mean, even understanding the profiles of these investors, who are these investors? There's a lack of transparency, even understanding that, because when you go to her founder page or people, like, there's nobody else but a picture of her. Are these private donors? Do they want to remain? I mean, people can donate privately to things, right? That's their right. They should be able to donate privately. But I'd like to know who, because I think that um, do they have an understanding of what is going on? Are they able to look into, like, how treatment progress looks like? How are they knowing that they're getting enough, like their money is actually going to something that is going to facilitate someone's treatment? Well, that's what they said about the sisters. That's what I'm wondering. Could somebody really go through 60? And now, mind you, this is what I find interesting. These are twin sisters, okay? Which they both have what is it? Um a, a very severe mental health disorder that they both have, both of them individually, right? Like they both have the same thing. They're both hearing voices. I haven't heard a whole lot of studies out there of twins with, like, and I could be wrong. See, that's the part that I haven't even looked into, because I said that is like research to be done. This It's interesting. I have a lot of questions, and I don't expect somebody like Mark Leda to even be able exactly at the same time. I don't expect somebody like Mark Leda to be able to really know the answers to those questions. You know what I'm saying? Because it's kind of like, mm, you're just giving the material and you're asking very much leading questions. So it's like I don't expect him to be able to answer everything, But I don't know. It's interesting. The way Lima talks, it's like Dahlia and Dia are conjoined twins, right? Um, what are the odds? What are the odds that both girls have the same diagnosis? Exactly. Isn't that something that would be like, I might have to Google search it. I might have to look into see if there's any studies for that because that's interesting. I like to know what research has to say about that. I don't know.
Them, right? So it's not talking bad about them. It's just giving you an image of the different tiers of treatment. They have a small outdoor space. It's very closed off. There's not really a lot of nature. And it's just a very clinical hospital vibe. And then we have, so those ones go for about like 18,000 a month to 35,000 a month. Then we have luxury facilities that go from 45,000 upwards to 135,000 a month. They're cash pay private facilities and beautiful houses on the water or just in a beautiful neighborhood surrounded by, completely surrounded by nature, and you don't feel like you're in a hospital setting. And the Medicare Medi-Cal facilities will usually have about like 100, 200 patients, not a large staff. It's mostly group therapy. It's initially a place to hold your family member for 30 days until they relapse. So it's a glorified babysitter that's holding them, right? The private pay facilities, they have they take less people, which is why they charge a higher price point. And they also do more one-on-one therapy. And they have, it's enjoyable to be there. You actually feel like people care about you, and it's beautiful. I would check myself into one of these facilities just for the sake of a vacation. Like it's just very serene and tranquil.
I wonder, let me tell you something. Has she evaluated herself? I just wondering. Kind of curious. Kind of curious. I believe that's why, hey Claire, I believe that's why Lima went out of her way to get the courts to put Amanda in her care. That way she gets paid. Sorry, Amanda, I don't believe you're. Oh, okay. Hold up. Let me see. BJ shows you how to use the Wayback Machine during the research. Thank you. And she has the people Lima tried to hide and say. Ooh, okay, Nikki, I'll check that out. Thank you. Somebody said that. Petrified said, has it been independently confirmed that Dahlia and Dia are actually two twins? And I don't know. Has it? Has it? It's a good question. All of the reckless, irresponsible, and glorified rehab. Ooh. No way. The scholarships required to get Amanda across California lines. Okay, this is what Mickey is saying. They are two separate people. Gotcha, Nikki. Thank you. They look slightly different. All right, all right, all right. Let me go ahead and hit play.
And so with our technology, with our virtual reality, what we're doing is we're taking the highest quality of care. So the beaches and the beauty of nature and the mindfulness practices that they do at these higher tier treatment centers, and we're providing a virtual room where these patients can, in these other facilities, can go and can be on a beach and can be in the mountaintops and can do mindfulness and positive practices, because around like 4 o'clock, the therapists will go home and the patients are just left with a TV room, and they're just being held there and medicated. And so that's not very practical. So with our tools, we're constantly trying to replace negative coping skills with positive coping skills. So if you're someone that's very impulsive, that's used to, cutting yourself when you're upset, or throwing up, or overeating, or taking your drug of choice, right? Those are all negative coping skills, and you've gotten used to doing them, because the first time that you ever do anything, it's very nerve-wracking. And then the second time you do it, it's a little familiar, but it's still, it still makes you a little nervous. And then the third time, fourth time, fifth time, eventually it becomes abnormal to not do it. So for example, if you're someone that goes to the gym 6 days a week and you miss a day of your workout, you're going to feel awful about yourself, right? Because you have that daily routine and you just broke it. But if you're somebody that, and I've been there, right? So I'll have like that daily routine. I'll be like, oh, I can't believe I screwed it up. And then, since my sister drama, I haven't been working out like I was before. And all of a sudden.
What is she talking about? I'm sorry. So she's giving an example as to what happens when you break a routine. Her integrated sales pitch, while simultaneously speaking in the experimental data, is a pathologic virus she's trying to infect the minds with. This is, I so lost. Like, I get so lost. Then she says, my sister's drama. So she's giving us a play by play on how she feels like the treatment center works. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, yeah, you're not running a treatment center. At least that's what I mean. Is she running the treatment center to know the day by day of it? What is her role in all of this besides designing the program? Is she actually running the center? I, e- wouldn't her company benefit from having someone qualified speaking on her? That's what I'm saying. I've got words. She's not qualified. She's not. On their behalf and work, and not just talking about her personal trauma and experience and secondhand information. But Mark Leda is not going to direct this. Mark is just letting her talk. I mean, yeah, he's just kind of like, you only hear him 3 or 4 times asking the question, right? This is weird. Interesting. You really, I'm watching this with work colleagues, psych nurses, some students, and 2 behavioral psychologists. We're all appalled by this chick. Red Door Woman's like, listen, y'all got me hooked on this. I'm so glad you're showing this. I'm glad. Guys, if you're a working professional in the field, please show this. Please let them know about this, what they're doing here, because if they are reaching out, she already said in this interview that they had a list of 600 providers that they had to wait list, and they're working with, I don't know, 17 or 19, I think that was the number of people that they actually have a contract with, or they actually are working. This needs to be red flagged. This needs to be, they need to ask questions. I want to see a copy of this contract. I really do. I want to see what this contract looks like. Please, Red Door, and all my beautiful, wonderful mental health professionals in here, please show this and let them point out the red flags and have them share it with everybody. Okay? Because that is concerning. Very concerning. Hey, Crimes in Fashion. Um, mm-mm-mm. That's what people have said, Becca. Mm, that's an interesting question. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, let's keep watching, okay?
If I go to the gym once a week, I'm so proud of myself, but the following day that I don't go, it's not a big deal to me because I'm used to not going. So that becomes my behavior pattern. Whatever I'm used to is what I constantly follow and what I reward or put myself down for. When it comes to self-harm, like if someone, for example, with an eating disorder, if they at the beginning they throw up for the first time, it's kind of scary. It's a scary thing to even comprehend. It's very uncomfortable. I don't think anyone likes the feeling of puking, right? So it's not a comfortable feeling. It's not a comfortable act, and it's a little scary. And so when they begin to do that on a daily basis, it becomes very uncomfortable for them not to throw up because now they've retained that food, and it's about control. And you didn't control your food intake, and you didn't.
What is she? Is somebody dealing with an eating disorder as well? So does this technology also treat eating disorders? Because I didn't even see that with the APA research. Eating disorders? Why is she talking about like, is this supposed to treat everything? Are you guys checking that? Like, I am confused about this. Is it supposed to treat eating disorders as well? I'm wondering. Yes, I saw that on that, and we're going to look at that website here. So she's just kind of giving an example, like, where are these stories coming from? Right. I have a feeling it's a miracle that treats everything. Absolutely. Shout out to all my true crime folks in the chat because I really want everybody to start talking about the story. We need to bring some awareness to this and all the mental health professionals in here as well. Ooh, I followed the story for a while. The patterns mimic what I know to occur with human trafficking. I'm pretty certain Lima is trafficked to be a front. Wow. And this is a comment that I'm reading, everybody. This is a different kind of target.
And throw up. And so that becomes the norm. So you reprimand yourself for not doing it. So you broke that schedule or that comfort level that you have created. And that became your way of coping with stress and trauma. When I feel a certain way, I respond this way. And when I don't do it, whether that be pills, whether that be, food consumption and just comfort eating, right? Whatever it is that you do, therapy is about breaking that pattern. But if you don't get the therapy, if you don't get constant therapy, constant practice at breaking that pattern, then initially you're never gonna break it, and you're always going to go back to what you're used to. And so that's why the relapse rate is 90%, and people are not getting better. And unfortunately, this isn't, eating disorders have the highest rate of mortality because, especially when you pair it with bulimia, like anorexia has the highest rate of mortality, and when you pair that with bulimia, your heart has a higher rate of just stopping. Like it just stops out of, it can't continue.
You know what was so interesting? One of the questions that I have, right? She's talking about what has the higher mortality rate, bulimia, and the eating disorders, right? Did she? Let me know in the chat. This is something that I had a question about. You guys might know. I've got words. You might know the answer to this. Did she know? Did she meet Lima or not? Amanda. Did Amanda meet Lima before or after this? Like, how did the connection happen? Do we know that? And BJ might have already broken that down. Because if she did, I'm going to definitely go into BJ's and ask her who met who. And I think she did a video where she specified the dates. I asked that because there was a moment in time where you can actually see Amanda deteriorating, right? Could have been drug induced, and then she's gaining weight and then she's deteriorating. Could have been the fact, I don't know. So I'm kind of curious how all of this plays a part into that. Did Amanda meet Lima before or after this? Mark introduced her, right? But do we know when this happened? Okay, perfect. I'm gonna have to check out BJ's video on this then, because I want to know. Amanda met Lima through Mark and the court. Right. But Amanda had went to the White Underbelly a couple times. So when do we know the exact date of when these two met? Really, Nikki? The date on this video on the first interview? Let's go to it. Hold up, because now I'm wondering. She's over here talking about eating disorders. Look how deep she goes. And so I was kind of thinking, well, we saw the weight loss. Now, the weight loss for a minute could have been drug use, could have been different factors, right? But I'm kind of wondering. Hold up. Let me put White under. I'm not subscribed to Mark Leda at all. Lima Ara. I think that's how he named this video. This video was 3 years ago. Hold up. August 1st of 2020. This video is August 1st of 2020. Right? Mark had already met Amanda before. Do you, Nikki? Okay, thank you for the heads up. I'm gonna follow up on that. Let me write that down, okay? Because that's a follow up for me. As it connects to Amanda, okay, and we're gonna look into that. And I'm pretty sure that BJ has already broken this down, but I'm kind of curious to know because she's speaking about eating disorders. The way she talks about them, it's a bit of a red flag for me. Hold up.
for eating, right? Whatever it is that you do, therapy is about breaking that pattern. But if you don't get the therapy, if you don't get constant therapy, constant practice at breaking that pattern, then initially you're never gonna break it, and you're always going to go back to what you're used to. And so that's why the relapse rate is 90%, and people are not getting better. And unfortunately, this isn't, eating disorders have the highest rate of mortality because, especially when you pair it with bulimia, like anorexia has the highest rate of mortality. And when you pair that with bulimia, your heart has a higher rate of just stopping. Like it just stops out of, it can't continue to support the body. Opioids now kill more Americans than guns or breast cancer. And it's just because people have become so dependent on impulsively changing how they're feeling, and they're very addictive. The goal of what we do and what therapy is supposed to do, but they don't have the tools to do it, and that's why we're building the tools to do it, is initially to take those negative coping skills, get you to pause and not be so impulsive, and replace. We're not just telling you, stop doing drugs, stop throwing up, stop, your compulsive shopping habits, Mark, right? We're not trying to do that. We're trying to replace them, because you can't just stop and not know what to do with yourself. You have to replace them with.
What research is she quoting? Who gave her this information? Gotcha. Thank you so much. Shout out to the Your Travel Artist. She says Lima and Mark said they were going to choose someone randomly for a scholarship program. Lima was introduced to the WUB audience, the white underbelly audience, but BJ put together that was all a show, as a timeline doesn't add up. So it's still a question mark, but almost positive that BJ has this all broken down. I'll try to find a timestamp. Thank you so much, love. I appreciate you. Thank you for doing that. So she's not quoting, she's not giving us any type of research as to where this opioid numbers are coming from. She's not citing that. I'm going to Google search to at least mimic what she's saying, and I'm not finding that either. So where is she getting her sources? Anybody? Thank you. Maladaptive. Thank you. It's sus. Listen, we got it. So for those that are coming in, we have a whole playlist, and we're gonna start peeling that onion. It's a big onion. We're gonna start peeling it slowly. I'm learning, so I'm gonna learn with those that are in the true crime community. They're like, "What the hell is this?" We're gonna learn together. All right, we're gonna talk about it together. And for my mental health professionals, if you guys can bring some awareness to this is concerning.
Mindfulness practices, not being impulsive, taking a deep breath. One of the games that we have is learning how to deal with anxiety and stress and mood. So, for example, we've gamified the fight or flight response, right? So when I'm stressed out, I'm like very tense, and my shoulders are up and I'm holding my breath. And so I can now see it in colors. And when I'm calm, I'm taking a deep breath and the colors change. And I have certain tasks. So for certain tasks, I have to be super stressed out for. And for other tasks, I have to be super calm. So I learn how to control the fight or flight response. And stress is actually a really good thing. And that's a lot of people don't talk about it. So if people are interested, I would highly recommend the book Think Fast and Slow. It talks about the two brain systems, where one is very impulsive, and that can be very good, but also one is very focused. I can break it down. I don't know if it would be too long, but yeah, it's a very good book, and it really breaks down how you need stress. You need stress to focus. You need stress.
So a lot of I was looking into some of the other books that she was quoting on her other videos. She was quoting another book. Hold up. Did I write it down? I don't think I did. So what she's doing is she's pulling from the self-help books. There's another book out there that she pulled from. Man, I can't believe I didn't write it down. There was another book. I'm gonna have to go back on it. There was another book that she was quoting, and these are all self-help books. So she's, I don't know, reading a lot of self-help books, which is fine if you're looking to cope within yourself, not if you're looking to train others, right? This woman doesn't have any type of mental health qualifications. I believe her degree is in political science. For those that are coming in, she is running a virtual reality company that she virtual reality mental health. Okay. She is using people that are our most vulnerable population as guinea pigs, and she is applying conservatorships and or court orders to take over their treatment. She's looking for people specifically that have multiple systemic issues, such as mental health, stuff, maybe child welfare stuff, maybe adult system stuff, and what is it, judicial system stuff. So the point is either they go to treatment or incarceration, conservatorship or jail time. That's how she's pinning it down. And she's picking specific people, right, to do this. It's my understanding, based on what we've seen so far, she's aligning herself to these channels that go out and they film the homeless population, particularly. Mark Leda, the White Underbelly, which is over 4 million people, 4 million subscribers. He is a photographer who has worked with Apple, various companies, and is using his channel, his platform, to give interviews to people that are struggling with substance abuse. He knows that if he can get the prostitute in a live, or excuse me, in an interview, he can get the prostitute, the one that doesn't have a lot of clothes, the one that's shaking, the one that is needing something, as an interview source. He knows that he's going to get a lot of clicks and views off of that. He understands that that is exploitation. But like he said, if he goes and eats at a restaurant, the restaurant is also exploiting him. He's got a very skewed view of exploitation, but that's what he's doing. Just breaking it down. So this girl interviews with the White Underbelly. White Underbelly, when you watch a video from them, there's several credits that are running, and a lot of those credits are from other like nonprofit organizations that I believe are also possibly endorsing him if he's having them in the credits, some of which are human trafficking. Okay? So he's over here filming all these people. This girl's right here is looking to pick up people that she can help through her virtual reality mental health program that is not vetted, not enough research out there. We went to the APA website. There's an article from 2018 that talks about virtual reality and mental health. And if you use it, it has to be with qualified and trained folks. Okay. There's been one person that has died while she's been using under her treatment. All of it is suspicious as hell. She lied about how her death was reported. She's suing a blogger for exposing the truth. These are very dangerous people to have. These are people that need to be called out. These are, companies, programs. We don't know who's endorsing her. We don't know who are the people that are paying for her to do this stuff. It's all private. She pulled a 501, what is it, 3C. Okay, she's got a nonprofit. You read it, and it's very skewed about how she provides diagnostic guidance, but she is not licensed. She's not qualified. She doesn't even have any type of qualification in mental health to even do that. I'm sensing that she's reading a lot of self-help books, like from Dr. Phil and whatnot, to bring about her experience. She doesn't have any clinical hours behind her belt. She's never had a client to, like through supervision by a clinician to help with this. I don't either. I don't know how the courts, whether it's in California or Nevada, wherever the hell, they're giving her they're allowing her to have any oversight. And then she uses the people that she gets court orders or conservatorships as guinea pigs to promote her virtual reality program. Then you have her sisters, who you don't even know. Where are her sisters? Her sisters are struggling with mental health. We don't know where they're at. And she speaks on that in order to give guidance to mental health professionals. This is all over the place. And this is why, if you're in the true crime community, you're watching this, figure out if you need guidance, if you have questions, reach out to me and I will help you. If you want to use my videos, feel free, look into it, because you're going to get into a rabbit hole that you're just like, I cannot believe that this exists, that people can actually do this to people.
To be motivated, if you know those people, I'm one of them, that will usually have like 2 weeks to do an essay, and then the night before the essay's due, you end up cramming and you just write the whole thing and you pull an all-nighter and then you submit it, right? That's because those people, like when you have ADD or when you're always thinking fast, right? You can't sit there and focus. But all of a sudden when stress kicks in, my essay's due tomorrow, I can't fail this class, that stress actually gets you to sit down and hyper-focus and finish it in one night. So stress can be very, very, very productive, but it's about learning how to channel it, right?
Has Aura had success stories with some patients?
Yeah, so we're actually piloting it right now. We're working on getting the data out there. Due to the COVID pandemic, we've kind of put our research on hold. So we're still using it, we're still tracking patients, but we're not releasing that information because a lot of the, we don't want our numbers to be skewed. A lot of the treatment centers, their mental health facilities, they can't support a physical outbreak like the COVID pandemic inside the facility because they don't have the staff to care for the patient's physical illness. So they've changed around their protocols. We've been helping them receive PPE supplies, and so just due to all of those shifts.
What are these success stories? What does success, especially in the mental health field, because we know, and then if there's substance use, what does success look like? She can't answer you that. So they just started piloting and using it and didn't really, a patient has passed away. What's the data? There is no data. There is, yes, it is very much unethical. Very much unethical. Right, right. Well, we're helping. This was, of course, this was during the COVID, this interview, right? No data, nothing to show. And their target, and the target is Skid Row. The target is our most vulnerable populations. And it's crazy. Amanda passed away and she is still being used as a guinea pig of a success story. Lord have mercy. Let me do this, okay? For those that are brand new, I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. Maybe, I don't know if this girl is watching, so she might have already blocked me, but let's see. Let's see. No, she has not blocked me. Okay? Let me show you. Look at this. This is going to upset a lot of people here. I showed it before. This is Amanda. This is her success story. Okay? She says, "It is with a heavy heart that I share with you Amanda has passed away. We changed Amanda's life and showed the world that no matter how far you have sunk into your mental illness or addiction, recovery is possible. Unfortunately, the physical toll mental illness and addiction can have over the body is something we have no control over. On May 9th, 2021, Amanda passed away in her sleep in a residential treatment prior to her release to outpatient care. Amanda had been in the streets, okay? So how does she go from she's in the streets, how does she go from going to getting help and passing away while in care? It doesn't make sense. And then further adds, while her death is still under further investigation, we are awaiting the results of the autopsy. Foul play, self-harm, and relapse have been ruled out. Oh, you mean the shit that people can actually hold you accountable to? That you can actually, whether you tracked or you didn't, relapse being one of them. Self-harm has been ruled out, and foul play. That is bullshit. Bullshit. And she still used her. She still uses her to promote her. And the crazy part is Amanda, she had various interviews with the white underbelly, the Mark Leda guy. And she in more than one interview, in that, well, it might have been the same interview twice, said that her father had molested her. And who sat with Lima to make court order decisions about Amanda's treatment? Her father, the same one she alleged had molested her. Y'all don't see the red flags on this? Anybody see the red flags on this? And then Mark Leda does the interview and says, well, whatever Amanda said about her father was false. How the hell do you know, sir? Who investigated that, sir? But you know what? If you actually had somebody in the mental health field helping throughout this is the kind of BS that we would probably call out right away. All red flags. All red flags. That is a different level of grifting. That is a different level of exploitation. Okay? Completely different. I don't know if this girl, I get the sense in this girl, wherever my finger's pointing, I get the sense that she might be the front face for something else. I hate that. Let me tell you, I am the most logical person. I swear that if you tell me, Rabbit, look into this, I am the most logical person. I am the first one to say, nah. I will debunk myself if my mind goes somewhere else. But I'm having a hard time believing. I'm wondering if she is the front for something bigger. And we just don't eat. We're just sitting here and eating our food while this is happening. And now I completely understand why BJ did what she did with her life. I get it. I completely get. I think I would have done the same. I get it. I completely get it. For those that have came into my comments about, look into this part. No. In order to start this story for me, it had to start with Lima and her practices to truly understand who the hell she is. Right. Who? This is deeper. This is bigger. This needs to be exposed because there's going to be more death to come if somebody doesn't do something. And at the very least, I'd like to stand on the side that I actually called some of this out when when this was happening, along with everybody else that's calling it out. Right?
We've paused our data collection, but we have seen in just small instances in therapy sessions where patients weren't even aware of their feelings because, for example, somebody who's at a constant, let's use the scale 1 to 10 for easy math, right? So if someone's constantly at a stress level of an 8, right, and you ask them how they're feeling, they're going to think that they're fine because they're used to feeling this way all the time. So right now, I'm okay, right? But the doctor can actually see that they're not fine and that they're actually at an elevated stress level that's being maintained just because they're constantly on edge. And so we've had small little success stories in the sense that we've been able to identify these factors. And we've also been able to monitor people's craving levels and monitor people's stress and anxiety, or even the ability to remove triggers, right?
Yeah. Who is we? Who's we? I don't know who we is. I don't know who's we. Zoot says, conspiring happens. We are not talking in tinfoil. We're talking about social welfare corporations, corruptions, and health and safety. Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't know. And the thing, and let me be very clear. I've got words. I'm so glad you pointed this. I'm not asking anybody to harass anybody. What I'm asking is for you to do your own independent research on it. And if you are in the mental health field, look into this in terms of sharing it with your colleagues so they're aware of what's going on. If somebody reaches out to them about contracts with this, you better tell them to ask a lot of questions, because all of us, we all have it. And it is fair. It is completely fair. But please do not harass, do not contact this girl. I'm not doing that at all, because it is doing more harm than good. What I'm saying is speak to bring awareness. That's it. That's all. That's my thought on that. Let me keep playing this.
For example, if you're in a treatment facility and I put your drug of choice in front of you, that would be extremely unethical. It's not allowed, right? There's no drugs on the premises. If I can put that drug of choice in front of you, just the visual of it, it's not the same as me showing you a photo, but being able to put you in a room through our virtual reality technology, being able to put you in a room where you essentially are by yourself, right? So now I'm able to test you because it's the power of VR, and it's also, the power of being silent. And so all of a sudden you're at a bar by yourself. For example, one of our veterans, right? He said his rock bottom is being at home by himself, no one there, just sitting on the couch with a bottle of Jack Daniels on the table, right? And so we were able to put him in a living room environment by himself, bottle on the table, and measure his ability to, number one, use his coping skills, because we can see his craving levels, we can see his stress levels immediately elevate because he's by himself now. We're totally silent, no one's saying anything, and your brain just automatically goes into a mode where you're.
But you notice the detail that she's giving. So is she applying this? Who is doing this? She's doing it, but she's not qualified. She's not qualified to read biofeedback. She could collect data, but what is her role in all of this? Because she's explaining everything. She's the one. The people have questions. The people have questions. Thank you, Vamp says, I'm loving your content. Shout out to you. Thank you. Hashtag the people, we have questions. That's it. We have questions. Right?
You just feel like that you're not in this environment, that your doctor is there with you and that this is a safe place, but it doesn't feel like it anymore because you don't see anyone there. And so you're in this alternate reality. We can measure the trigger, the response, the craving levels, the stress. We stay silent and we see how long it takes the patient to use their coping skills, their grounding skills, all of the therapies that they've been learning, right? Because these are initially exercises, but if you don't practice them, if I just do a couple push-ups, I'm not going to expect to be really strong, right? I have to do it on a daily basis, and I have to practice when my trainer's not there. So by being able to put the patient in that environment, stay silent, and have them do the therapies on their own, we can now, monitor the patient. And when let's say he's in level 8, and he gets himself down with his grounding exercises to a level 6. So now he's taking himself through without the help of the doctor. He's practicing. It's no longer theory, right? It's no longer it starts outside the room. Now it literally.
It's no longer a theory. This is the person that sees. What did she? Who said it yesterday? Was it KT, social worker, who said yesterday? She broke it down perfectly, because Lima believes that, based on her conversations with the therapist, that therapy is just theory, right? And that the actual application, I don't know what she said to her, something to that effect. It was very interesting. So it's like how she sees this applying and what role she plays really does concern me. Yes, we have questions. Too many red flags. We have questions. We have questions. It doesn't make sense.
Starts in the office with the doctor. And so when the doctor realizes he's having trouble getting from a 6 lower, but he's gotten himself from an 8 to a 6, then the doctor will say, okay, remember what we talked about? Take a deep breath. Remember the story you told me about your grandmother in the park. Think of something positive. And so the doctor's able to get him down to a level 4, right? With her help and talking him.
And this is supposed to treat schizophrenia. This is supposed to treat what kind of disorder? Keep that in mind, because her website says that their virtual reality crap can do different things for brain diseases like schizophrenia. You're going to alter the environment in addition to the medication that they take in conjunction, and then read the biofeedback. That don't make sense.
Through it, the ability to be able to show that data to insurance, we're gathering all of that information because our goal is for insurance to cover 6 months of treatment for patients. But the only
cost
way
of mental health is
absolutely
a big problem.
So the cost of real treatment would be about, and this is very low, right? Would be about $250,000 for a year for somebody if you were going to constantly go door to door.
So you have a scholarship program?
Yes. So I'm actually starting the scholarship program. I just registered a nonprofit called the Jevremovic Institute of Behavior and Brain Sciences. And so the reason for that is initially because I work in mental health. My sisters have insurance, and our family is very supportive in working towards making sure that they're always covered. The treatment centers that are my clients are beyond supportive of what I'm doing and my situation, are willing to discount the beds for my sisters to go. And I know the industry inside and out when it comes to insurance and facilities and all of the politics behind it. And I'm still struggling to find treatment. So to me, it's even unfathomable to think of people that are uninsured or don't have any contacts in the mental health industry. Where would you even begin, right? And so the reason for the mental health scholarship, the JIBS scholarship, is initially it costs about $250,000 conservatively, because we do get a lot of discounted beds through my clients. And so it's about offering the ability for somebody. So every 200,
she gets a lot of discounted beds through her clients. So she's already, who are her clients? Vulnerable population? Skid Row? Who are her clients? Because she's already got a discount through her clients. That should be a red flag. So that means that she already has an in based on if Rabbit is a patient and I have Medicaid, and Medicaid will cover so many days for me to be in treatment. Does she already have an in somehow? And then her whatever donors, are they going to pay for X amount of days for me to be in treatment? How does this work? Y'all see how she has an in already? Red flags. Red flags. And we don't even know. We only know, my understanding, we only know of 3 different stories. Who are the other ones? Who are the other stories? People that aren't necessarily in the media or famous, or maybe even haven't been featured on the White Underbelly. Who are the other people? And now I'm kind of wondering too, the people that have been supporting, that are on the credits of the White Underbelly, you know how he runs his credits? Who are those people? And do they know? Or do they even care? Or are they also supporting this? Or are they also giving clients to Lima? I got questions.
50,000 covers somebody for 1 year. It's about offering them the ability to not just go to a Medicaid, Medi-Cal facility, but they're able to attend an aura facility. So treatment centers that use our technology receive 3 months of residential care, receive the detox before that. And then after the 3 months of residential care, they're put into an outpatient program where they have, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., they're going to therapy and doing treatment. And then they go home, so they have a little bit more freedom. But the home is a sober living, and there's a lot of sketchy sober livings out there, but the ones that we work with also have the aura technology. And so you can continue to practice what you were learning in the treatment center. So those gamified therapies that are fun, but also retrain your brain. And they also have supervision at these sober livings, activities. They drive you to and from the facilities for your therapy sessions. And then initially, after another 6 months, so by month 9, you would begin job training, and we would cut down your therapy sessions to the Aura mobile app. So you do a couple hours a week of telehealth, and we continue to track your progress. So voice and
so many steps and no success stories yet that they can account for. When I used to do contracts for these kinds of providers, okay, because you can have I've told you, yesterday, you can have all kinds of providers. Different providers provide different things. You can have a provider that does mentorship, right? But it is very clear as to what they're providing. And if there's a success story or something, they're very quick to tell you. They don't have it. little bits of spurts of success when this has happened, but what does that mean? I want to know if somebody actually went through this, okay, and maybe there has been this many days of relapsing. Maybe it's something. Nothing to provide. No research, nothing. This is big, okay?
Analysis, biofeedback, and the evidence-based practices through the Aura Guardian system, which is our mobile app. And so train you for...
And she can't even tell you what those are. What are those evidence-based? What does that look like? CBT, DBT, which one is it? MST, which one is, what evidence base are they using? Who is supervising? Show us the clinical research. That's what I want to know. Who are you quoting? Nothing is shown.
For job placement and ensure that you have the ability to move out of the sober living safely and continue on that path. But after a year, we've completely reprogrammed your behavior patterns. So you're used to doing things differently. You have that support and you're not automatically cut off from 24/7 doctors surrounding you. You're given that independence slowly, and it's not I'm not ready to leave. So that's what really drives me, is treating mental illness like physical illness. And
remember, conservatorship or jail time. You imagine being given that decision. Conservatorship or jail time. She takes over your treatment, and at the end it's jail time. You what? Oh, that's very much guided in empathy, let me tell you.
Ensuring that everybody has access to the type of treatment that they need, that it's not about, I'm sorry, you can't afford to get better, so you belong on Skid Row. It's one last thing, because I don't want this to get too long, but in a 3-year period, Nevada saw $80 million in mental health cuts, and there was 1,500 cases in that 3-year period of one hospital in Nevada dumping.
What did she say? Let me go back a little bit. When she said that, I said, you got to be kidding me. When she pulled that research, let me tell you why. Hold up. I got to pull the article. I was looking into this, and I said, where does she get that? Because I was in school around this time when this was happening too. Hold up. Let me see. I'm going to pull that article. She's talking about this like it recently happened. No. There's been a lot of cuts in mental health. I don't want to say that that's not the case, but what she is quoting right here. Hold up. Let me see. Let's go back a little bit. What did she say right here?
Livings, activities, they drive you to and from the facilities for your therapy sessions. And then initially, after another 6 months, so by month 9, you would begin job training, and we would cut down your therapy sessions to the Aura mobile app. So you do a couple hours a week of telehealth, and we continue to track your progress. So voice analysis, biofeedback, and the evidence-based practices through the Aura Guardian system, which is our mobile app.
Okay.
And so train you for job placement and ensure that you have the ability to move out of the sober living safely and continue on that path. But after a year, we've completely reprogrammed your behavior patterns. So you're used to doing things differently. You have that support, and you're not automatically cut off from 24/7 doctors surrounding you. You're given that independence slowly, and it's not I'm not ready to leave. So that's what really drives me, is treating mental illness like physical illness, and ensuring that everybody has access to the type of treatment that they need, that it's not about, I'm sorry, you can't afford to get better, so you belong on Skid Row. It's one last thing, because I don't want this to get too long, but
right here.
In a 3-year period, Nevada saw $80 million in mental health cuts, and there was 1,500 cases in that 3-year period.
She talks about a 3-year period, right? She doesn't state what year this happened. She doesn't say anything. She said that there was 80 million cuts. Let's have her keep talking.
Of one hospital in Nevada dumping patients onto the street. It's called patient dumping. It's very common practice. A lot of the people from Skid Row end up here because the ambulance drops them off when they can't pay for mental health treatment. They don't have coverage, and they can't afford to get better. So it's a huge issue in our country, and there's too much potential on the street to let it just waste away.
Oh, Too much potential on our streets to just let it waste away. Hold up. Where's that article? I was like, I've heard of this before. This happened back in what, 2007? Where, and this is the Las Vegas Review Journal. The link is in the description box. Check it out. You can review it independently. But this was back then that the state had cut 80 million from mental health funding since 2007. All right. So none of the research, like when she's quoting this research, I'm immediately going to Google. I'm like, where is she getting her stats and her number? This is a very old article, by the way. Hold up. And I can give you the year. This is what it looks like. Written in 2013. Okay. And I remember, because I was in school around that time, I remember about patient dumping. I remember that there was a huge undercover investigation that led from one of the hospitals in Los Angeles that was busing patients, mental health patients, all the way to Las Vegas, busing them and then just dumping them. And then suddenly Las Vegas is having all these mental health patients, and they're like, where are these people coming from? Well, they were being bused from this hospital in California all the way to Las Vegas. So what she's quoting here, this is outdated research that she's quoting. And she quoted it, that was 2020, and that research was from 2007. The article was written in 2013. Pretty outdated, right? Because I'm looking to see what she's quoting, where she's getting her research from, and everything. And nothing is really making sense as far as her research. The good thing is when she started this interview, the most awkward thing about this interview is when she talked about deinstitutionalization, but she didn't say the word, but I knew what she was describing.
And then additionally, we'll do you want to do a GoFundMe campaign for
a GoFundMe campaign,
right?
That would be incredible.
And then we'll choose somebody to be decided later.
Yeah. So
that you think would be a good candidate for this?
Absolutely. So I think it would be a really amazing opportunity to, right now I'm raising the funds from my friends and family, but anyone else that wants to participate and really add value to someone that they've been seeing. So it's not a housing problem. It's not about getting these people an apartment or getting them a home. Trust me, we've done it with my sisters, and it's only escalated the situation. Ooh. And it's really about getting proper mental health care treatment and making sure that we take care of this person for a year until they're independent.
And that'll be somebody that I've interviewed on my
channel.
Yeah.
Exactly. And we can do updates with that person. We can talk about the type of treatment that they've been getting, and use it as a way for other people to see the ideal of how our healthcare system can actually work.
Yeah, and they'll use Aura's technology.
Absolutely. They'll only be sent to a private pay facility that uses Aura technology. So the highest standard of care with data-driven healing and the tools for the therapist to see how the patient is feeling and to accurately use health detection technology so that they don't go misdiagnosed, and to really work one-on-one with that person until they're capable of being independent. And so, one of the things that I was just sharing with you.
When people get misdiagnosed all the time in traditional evidence-based assessments, scientific assessments, right? Evidence, people get misdiagnosed all the time. So now an app is going to help us not misdiagnose. You go, girl. You go, girl.
You, Mark, is the fact that we really have to remember that these people, it's all about toxic shame. So when you and I do something, it's something that we did. When these people do something, it's something that they are. And so, so they become very shame-based. And the things that they continuously fail at become more validation as to how awful they are and how they don't deserve anything. So it's really about showing compassion to someone, not sending them to a treatment center where they're being sedated for 30 days and then released onto the streets. It's about really providing a system of treatment and an actual recovery plan for them to heal.
Excellent. So I'll leave a link in the description of this video, and we'll go from there.
Thank you so much.
Well, Lima, thank you so much for telling us about Aura.
Thank you for
your scholarship.
Me.
Very exciting, very interesting.
Absolutely.
And I wish you the best of luck with it.
Yeah, and so
sounds incredible.
Well, I'd love to work with you to fill in the first scholarship person.
I'd love to work with you to fill in the first scholarship person.
From one of the people that you've interviewed. That would be awesome. We can do an update for your guests.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
All right, cool.
Thank you for having me, Mark.
All right, Lima, thank you very much.
Absolutely.
There you go.
You have a company
There you go. Doesn't that just me? Listen. Why are you going to go out there when the clients are coming to when the people that are being filmed by the white underbelly, I mean, they can just be referred. They just know each other. Connection is right there. Let me go and show you guys the website of her nonprofit. All right. What is it called? The Lima Removic. What the hell is it called? Did I close it? I hope I didn't close it down. I think I did. Hold up. Let me look for it, y'all. The website for Lima, here it is, the Brain and Institute Behavior. Okay, let me show you guys what she is saying that her technology jibs. Thank you. We read this little paragraph. Again, she says Mora's insight into psychology in isolated control environments allows her to provide diagnostic guidance on mental health and behavioral immerse content, application and functions. Yet in her founder page, nothing about she went to this school to learn about her mental health. She got trained by this clinician, that clinician, nothing to even say that, right? She is a technology guru. That's what she is. Let's go to the what she treats. Hold up. There's the scholarships, what we do, meet the founder, donate, what we treat. Here it is. Alzheimer's, autism, ADD, ADHD, dissociative disorder, depression, bipolar disorder, anxiety, epilepsy, and other seizure disorders, eating disorders, substance abuse, personality disorders, schizophrenia, chronic and complex pain, complex PTSD, post-traumatic distress disorder, what is it? Obsession compulsive disorder, congenital brain defect, and mental health general. This is the umbrella of all. She basically listed all the DSM disorders, the majority of them, some of them. Epilepsy, right? Virtual reality and epilepsy, somehow, some way, those two. And I was like, well, then who are the founders, or who are the supporters, or the people? Meet the founder, emergency. So she was supplying, what is it, PPE for the COVID thing, the scholarship. There's your scholarship, drug and rehab steps. It's all there. Graduation, whatnot. Our sponsors, AT&T, and some of these other companies that I don't really know, and some of them are just blanks. They're like tiles. I don't know some of these companies. Seattle Chocolates, okay, some energy company. Donate, subscription, contact us home. Look at this. They want to let everybody know that they're HIPAA compliant. Keep that in mind. They want everybody to know that, okay? They want you to sign up to their email. They're also quoting some other stuff here as far as research. Look, hold up. Where did I see it? Here it is. I don't know where these numbers came from. I'm sure we could probably Google search some of this and then maybe find them potentially. Or did she skew them because she's not telling people where these numbers are from? Okay. This is her website. Check it out. Feel free to check it out. Bunny, thank you for being a member for 6 months. Hi, Rabbit and Fluffle. Whoa, whoa, whoa. She going to use VR to treat people who struggle with delusions too? I can't imagine that being a good thing. Well, and in conjunction with medication, right? What is that going to look like? The links don't lead to anything. No, they don't. Which makes me wonder, is she the poster? Is she the front for something that we don't even know? There's a lot of desperation. People, and it's the client, but also even the provider, where I've seen some really great therapists that really want to help their clients, social workers, clinical social workers, therapists, counselors, psychologists that really want to help their clients. And they're following the guidelines, they're following the insurance, they're following Medicaid, the funding, right? And then there's a frustration because the client needs more, and the way the system is set up, it's never helpful or fitting for one person. What one person needs in treatment is going to vary in others, but we are not guinea pigs, right? What my trauma looked like is not the same as what Lima's trauma looked like, right? It's going to be different. What her sister's trauma looked like, it's going to be different. And if you have been in the field of mental health, you know that ethically, when you do any type of counter transference, right? When you do any type of, an example, if I see my child in another child in that situation, that is an ethical red flag for me to say I probably need to step away from this client because I'm going to do more harm than good. The ownership for somebody that's educated, you know where your red flags are at. Okay. And some of the stuff that you learn in school, it's either trained because you're going through it, you're going through the motions and you're facing it, or you learn it through your life. But for her, she doesn't have those qualifications. She can't speak to it because she would have known immediately that you don't get any type of court order on a person or conservatorship and then use them to promote your product. That's a big no-no. We know that. That's the ethics that a lot of us that went through school and went through it know, right? We know that. How she doesn't pick up on that, I don't know. Or she chooses not to. I'm sure people have called her out. So we have to keep calling it out, right? All right. I'm going to let you guys go. Let me know your thoughts in the comments if you're watching the replay. Thank you. Please share it. The most important thing here is just to share it. Share it with your colleagues and let them know what's going on. We're going to continue to peel this onion because there's so many parts to it. We will be digging into the sisters. At some point, we'll probably be digging into Mr. Bam. But there's still more on the Amanda part that we need to dig into. And there's still more on this Lima part that we need to dig into. And I'm going to do as much research as I can to maybe find other things that are out there. That maybe, I don't know if BJ has or doesn't. I'm just going to do as much as I can to do. And we're going to keep holding live streams like this until we can grow more awareness and everything. And we're going to be using her words, right? To portray and give this argument that we're giving. That's what we're going to do. Okay? Facts. Facts aren't defamation. Remember that? They're not. All right. I will let you guys go. You guys have a great one, and I'll see you on the next one. Rabbits out. Bye, guys.